I've gotten to a point that even if we talk about the most controversial topics, I know how to approach them in a way that's at its most centrist and unbiased, and also in a way that I'm not going to say not offend people, because nowadays people can get offended very, very easily, but in a way that is if someone wants to actually take it in as a reference or a source of information, it is justified. I at least give a point of view that has some form of backing, some form of justification. It's not going to be wild opinions. It's not going to be like just all these kind of theories that you have. No. And if I don't know anything about the subject, I'm like, hey man, that's not my jam. I really can't say much about it because I don't know that much about it. You know, it's something you want to talk about it, I'm like, all right, give me a week. Let me do some homework and we can revisit it. But if I at least am up to date on what's going on, or at least have some general knowledge on the subject, I'll give you what I know, but I'll do it in a way, like I said, as at least civilized and respectful. I'm not trying to purposely, push people's buttons or anything like that. So
I think that gives you the superpower of being able to navigate it in ways that maybe other people can't.
Yeah.
Maybe you become like a bridge.
Yeah, and that's a great term, because that's how I feel on the show. People will come in and they'll ask some controversial things, and I'll break it down in a sense where both sides of the argument can at least see it as, all right, that's acceptable, which is hard to do when you have two extremes fighting over a topic, a conversation. So for me, it's rewarding, and it's also reassuring to know that all that training and all the skills are paying off. I'm not saying have paid off, because I'm always going to learn more. It's never going to be a day where I know everything. So I know that that's reassurance that I'm doing something well, and it's leading to the success of having people, build connections and better relationships with either these topics or themselves, because, before that topic, they might have not seen eye to eye, so they didn't like each other. But now, because this was been introduced and it changed their perspective a little, now they can go, all right, you know what, it's not that bad.
That's so interesting, because it seems like the community you've generated, they've been evolving with you.
Yeah.
And, including the story of the young man that you changed his life.
Yeah.
It's such a unique experience. I think about where we come from in Hudson County, New Jersey. And, that's not something we were ever told that we would be able to do, to affect someone's life like that. It's not. Maybe if you disagree with me, let me know.
No, I completely agree with you.
I think, to see you grow up to become that person is such a wonderful thing to witness. Again, because I never saw like the bully side. I always saw you to be a helpful person that was always down for a good time. I only have good memories.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's such an interesting thing, and then I get why people enjoy tapping in. You present such a charisma, but I think at its core, what you're really good at is creating a safe space.
Yeah.
Where people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what's being represented on your pages, because last I checked, you were upwards of like 12,000, something like that, right?
Followers?
Yeah.
21,000 and counting, bro, in a year.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, it was. I know to someone with 500,000 subscribers, that ain't shit. But to us, like I said, I call myself an old man, at least for the game I'm in. I'm 35 years old, and I'm selling sneakers with 17-year-olds. It's a phenomenal number for me.
Well, my point to that, right? My reaction to that is there are so many people our age that disbelieve that that's even possible.
Oh yeah.
They'll look at the social thing and be like, "That's for the kids."
Yeah.
And I think your open-mindedness and even your studiousness, because you could have done like an 8 o'clock show, right? But you did a 7:45 a.m. show. And not everybody wants to do that because they consider social to be like a plaything.
Mm-hmm.
I think you choosing to do 7:45 and then choosing to do 7 days a week, it's more evidence that of the people of our contemporary age, you don't take it as a joke.
Oh, right, yeah.
And you nurture it with the care, and that if anyone our age did that, they could likely see the same results.
Absolutely. With anything they choose to do. You just got to work harder than everyone else. I know it's It sounds incredibly overwhelming, but working hard, just most of the people nowadays are not working that hard. If you just dedicate yourself a little bit of your free time and chip away and look at it long term, it's not going to happen overnight. We're, again, a little bit of an anomaly because we literally popped on this app with zero social media following, no really understanding of how things worked. And I just, like I said, I threw myself in there. I was like, fuck it, we're going to try this. And it blew up to what it is now. If you just at least are prepared for that, or at least are very good at adapting, because that was the main thing I had to do. I didn't know much, so I had to learn quick and adapt quick. Because what I thought might have worked in practice may have not. So immediately I got to change because I got a show tomorrow. When the show ends, I got a show tomorrow. That's the same thing. So my main vision was, how do I make next show better? How do I make each next show better? So now that we've got, how many shows, my love? Over 500 at least?
Last year, calendar year, you did 443 shows.
Okay, we're almost at 500 shows. Once you put in that much, you're going to learn some things throughout that. And when I get to 1,000 shows, I'm going to learn more. And when I get to 10,000, and that's the thing that people see, is they look at the goal as, I want to be the best streamer. So the goal's all the way over there, dude. And it's, oh, fuck. That's a long way away. It's going to take a lot of work, a lot of time. And people feel overwhelmed and discouraged, and they don't even try. But if you look at it, if you rewind all of that, and to get to that goal, the first thing you got to do is start your first show. That's way more attainable than being the biggest streamer on the planet. So you can work on your first task of starting your first show. Maybe it can just be picking up the phone, creating the show. You don't start it. You give yourself a week, but it's there. You can promote it. You've dedicated yourself a day. Then the next step is running that show. Press start show. You do your show, you rip the Band-Aid off, you end the show, and you go, I'm still alive. I'm not, no one's coming after me. I can do another show. That was actually kind of fun. And then you just build off that. And before you know it, when you look back after a few years, or however, because you can time, it just depends how good you are and how dedicated you are. If you have a natural talent for the craft, you're in a much better advantage. And then if you dedicate most of your free time to it, you're only going to build your experience up even more. So you're going to get better at it faster. So the more you can just try at it, but do it, take it seriously, that's going to yield you the best results. So you've got to have a dedication to it, and keep grinding no matter what. Don't take times off. Yes, things happen. We lose people in the family. We want to take vacation. We want to do that. But man, if it's that important, if you really believe in that's going to be what's going to lead to your ultimate success, keep at it. There's ways to sprinkle little things in here and there and still have a life. But for the most part, dude, you've got to work hard. You've got to work hard. And if you work harder than the guy that's just doing it to fuck around and spend, 20 minutes a day seeing what he can do, you're gonna beat him pretty quickly. Then the guy that does this, every other day, he's all right, and some people like him. But if you work a little harder, you're gonna beat him one day. And then you keep moving up the ranks. You gotta keep climbing that ladder till eventually you put in so much time, you've worked so hard, it's going to pay off. But you've gotta have that feedback. You got to know how to cater your show, your craft, your product to meet what people want, because that's how you're going to build it, bro. You can't just, just go full force and not listen to anybody. And this is what you got to do, and just only do this. No. You got to take in feedback. You got to have people that you can trust to talk to and give you a little advice, give you some suggestions, have surveys, whatever it is. Study your shows, get the analytics, all that things that help you. You have to build yourself an armory so fucking tough that no one's going to take you down. And that starts with skills, with knowledge, with techniques, with resources. There's so much that goes into it, but you can chip away on that. And that's what could be encouraging to people to start their own journey. It's fractionalize it. Don't look at it as the big picture long-term down the road. Understand that it takes the first step. So just plan your first step. Then you plan your second step. And if you see that, you just chip it away, and you can take as much time as you want. Your own progress is dictated by your own desire. All right? If you start something, you take 2-3 steps, but you really don't like it, you don't like what you're doing, you can just stop and go start something else. If you take 2 or 3 steps and you go, holy shit, this is a lot more fun than I thought, you're going to speed up. You're going to want to run and jog or whatever to get to that point. But again, Your desire will drive based on what you choose to do or what to sell, but there's always something you can do. Even if you stay home and watch TV all day, but you've seen every episode of Rick and Morty 1,000 times. You can start a little podcast on Rick and Morty. You can start drawing up trivia questions to sell to, because that's a big popular thing at bars, trivia night. You know, all this stuff. You can create trivia questions. You can have a forum to discuss, you know, Easter eggs or things that don't make sense. There's a lot you can do from what you think means nothing, but you have a passion for it. There's, 7 billion people now? You're not so unique that you like one thing that no one else is going to like. All right? There's a lot of things that people like that have that in common with you, but you're just not putting it out there, so you don't really know. All right? So that's a lot of missed opportunity to me. You leave a lot on the table that way.
I think that's kind of another one of your superpowers. You don't leave nothing on the table.
Never, dude. That's why I'm going to get to being 80 and I'm going to get interviewed. Be like, well, what's your biggest regret at 80? Nothing. I'm going to say dick, bro. Nothing. I did everything I wanted to do in the moment I wanted to do it. I did it in the most responsible form where I didn't have to end up in jail. I didn't have to end up bankrupt. You know, hopefully. Who knows what the future holds? You know, I will make tougher choices and riskier decisions. But hopefully, you know, even a step backward is going to lead to 2 steps forward sometimes. So, to me, if the juice is worth the squeeze, all right, I'm fucking squeezing the shit out of it.